So when last we adventured, we went out on the sea and we came across the ship Audacity, I believe it was, where we found some redskin pirates doing battle with some kobolds. We boarded the ship as our uh, rowboat, for lack of a better name, was shattered and began sinking. Battle ensued. Uh, when we boarded the ship, the Redskin pirates and the Kobolds was doing battle with each other. We started slowly picking them off one by one, and then the like a Kobold shaman or something to that effect took charge, and the Redskin pirates and the Kobolds both turned and started fighting the party together. We were able to defeat the Kobold Shaman and the Redskin Pirate Captain. And at that time, the ship was on fire, began sinking. We made it off. We searched the ship before it sank. We found a draconic statue of a dragon. We learned that the statue of the dragon somehow was taking souls from victims and charging up, which was causing the storms that was occurring in the area. We departed the ship again as it was sinking, arrived at Parnas, and was greeted by Yovar Gladden, and I believe that's where we called it a day.
Oh, very nice. Remember the name of the ship, Chief?
Uh, Audacity?
Yeah, very good. You can very good. You can give someone else an inspiration if you want to, and you can have one for yourself.
Uh, we'll give Flinden Knowles an inspiration.
All right. So actually, why don't all of you guys add an inspiration, and then you can have an extra one there, Mr. Shen.
All right.
It's a trap.
It's a trap.
Hmm. So we're gonna be playing Adventures League tonight. I like it. I'm excited. So you guys are back in. You guys are back in Flan. Now, what's been going on? You guys have had what I think 4 downtime days or something like that. 5 downtime days since we last played. What's everybody been doing? Anybody doing anything during their
Um,
downtime?
yeah, much to start. I seeked out Zun Zerkster from the Order of the Gauntlet, who lent me his axe. I will report to him about my findings about there wasn't undead, but they were the cult of the dragon that were using the premise of undead to attack villages to try and find details about uh, artifacts and alike for the cult, and show him the evidence that we found.
Yeah, well, you're also rebuilding that shrine too. So
Yeah. So after I
Gilfron, he left you all of his extra the supplies that he had left over from selling in Flan. So Gilfron
excellent,
left you a
excellent.
bunch
Yeah.
of
So
wood, some tools and stuff.
after I found Zern and relayed all the details and see if he wants his axe back, the axe of the Impulsor, I'll then set to work on the materials on the shrine and on the temple and try and get it built up a bit more and get some more people in working and kind of get it ship shape and usable.
We're gonna let you start trying to convert everybody in Flan eventually. It's gonna be great when you have that new temple built.
Yeah, I just went told that they're half worshipping one god and half a demon.
Anybody else been doing anything? Any carousing? Anything?
Yes, yes. Shin would like to carouse. He just got back from being out to sea.
Oh, you would love 50 fathoms too, man. R. Let's get you the carousing table, shall we?
Absolutely.
So I'm gonna share the carousing table with you. So why don't you? How many days are you carousing? Because it costs you what is it? I think it's 10 gold a day to carouse.
I thought it was
Let,
5.
let me see.
5 or 10, something like that.
It's depending on, isn't it? Depending on
I think it.
your level of living that you want.
I think it actually. I think it actually gave a definitive amount. Usually, it does go by what type of lifestyle you want to lead on your during your downtime days. But I think this was a static cost. We'll just say it's five gold a day, and then I'll look it up here after the game. So if you want to carouse for 4 days, it'll cost you 20 gold, and then you can go ahead and do the carouse button, and then let us know what you're doing. We'll take a look at the result.
All right, we'll
like
carouse. We'll carouse for 4 days.
All right, very good. So you'll deduct your 4 days of downtime too at the end.
Yep.
So let's see what happens. Let's see what happens on that table, Chief. No, not too bad. So you earn modest winnings from gambling, and you recuperate your lifestyle expenses for the time carousing. So you get back your money. So give us a little story of what you were doing going throughout the taverns and the bars in Flan.
Yeah. So when we returned to port in true sailor fashion, I had to partake in some beverage. Got a little rowdy a couple nights. Nothing too serious, nothing too ambitious, nothing that required the local constables to come and see me and pay me a visit or anything.
No donkey shows or nothing like that.
Yeah, no donkey shows.
That's the Philippines, I think. That's what my dad
Yep.
said anyway.
That's the Philippines. And then I would find, local card games or local dice games in the tavern, go in the back, make modest wagers, win some, lose some. Broke pretty much even the whole time, so
Did you pull the
nothing
wool
too
over
exciting.
anybody's eyes?
No, I didn't feel the need to be using any sleight of hand or anything like that. Like I said, it was all in fun, returning home from port or from being out to sea. It's just blowing off the steam from a sea journey and a battle at sea. So happy to be back on land, yearning for the next trip to sea.
Ahoy.
Yeah,
Ahoy, Sailor. Sorry about that.
actually, while he was out carousing and doing some card games there, he actually met Fiddlenauts. He went and joined one of his gambling games there. Lost a little bit to him.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
A new
I
guy
got a
stepping
new
in
buddy
with some
here.
RP. I like it. Add an inspiration for that. That's nice. Yeah, very nice. Add another inspiration there. I like it.
Found us a new friend, shipmates.
Well,
Greetings.
The Adventures of Shen and the Dark Elf, coming soon to you. I like it. Mark, how about you? Markesh, Kalash? Well, Kalash, you already were talking about that. How about you, Varus? Markesh?
I went carousing.
Nice. 4 days worth?
Sure.
Let's see. You need a table again?
Nah, I got it. I
All
just had something else I was looking at.
Wah, 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 wah. That's not good, man. There you go. So what's happened is as you're carousing, you make an enemy. This person, business, or organization is now hostile towards you. And I determine the offended party. Let's see. In fact, I'll reverse that and I'll let you tell me what happened and how you made the enemy. So let's hear this. This is going to be good.
Oh, well, I was busy one day and just carousing around and got myself involved in Fight Club.
I love it. Nice.
And I beat this guy. Didn't get any money out of it because they said I cheated. So I offended the manager of the club. And I told him I didn't cheat and then beat him up.
Then all of the flan guard got there just in time to break it up, and you slipped out the back door, huh?
Yep. Like
I
a
like
bathroom bandit.
Maybe that was what Shen and how do you say that name? Is it Fizzlehausen?
Fiddlenaz.
Fiddlenaz. Maybe Shen and Fiddlenaz were betting on this. Maybe that's how they won or something. I don't know. Hey, I know that guy. He can fight. Oh wait, he was cheating. Did he just pull out brass knuckles? Oh my god. Marcus, anything for you? Oh, go ahead. Sorry about that, Verse.
I used one of my key points and used one of my special abilities, which I found out afterwards it was against the rules.
Oh. What was that saying in Fight Club? What happens in Fight Club stays in Fight Club or something like that?
No, rule number 1, you don't talk about Fight Club.
Ah. Marcus, I think his mic might be muted or something like that. I can't.
No, I'm around.
Oh, okay. Did you do anything, Marcus?
Not this time around.
All right. Omi, what say you?
So Omi's definitely gonna carouse, but before we get to that, Omi's happy to finally have some time off. He's gonna spend 10 days off promoting his new show, which is Omi Martin's Spoon the World Tour. So Omi's
Who's the Bucketman?
Oh wait.
Having noticed one of those posters, Marquez promptly takes camp outside of town.
I could see that happening.
Just a big fuck this.
Unexpectedly, Fiddlenaz actually went into one of the inns that was performing this Spoons of the World tour.
So Omi spends a couple of days really promoting the show, putting up these posters all over the place and getting the word out. And he has a few shows with a modest showing until finally he gets to Madame Friona's tea kettle. And Madame Friona is kind of apprehensive about having Omi play at her place again, but business has been slow and she can't afford to turn down the crowd that this would bring in, so she reluctantly agrees.
Yeah.
So
and everybody got a bran muffin as they entered the tea kettle. Also, sort of like part of the gimmick, you know.
Naomi, one quick question for you. Who's this new group of friends you got called the Bucketman?
Oh, I'm getting to that. So Omi, for this show, he decided to hire some help to when he's going to go on tour throughout Flan here with his Spoon the World tour. So during Madame Friona's show, Omi's up on stage. He's dressed in one of those Bavarian serving wench dresses, and he's got this like blonde wig with long braids going down the sides all the way to the floor and then some. And to the side of him, he's got the bucket men who are helping him with his tour. And you see that the bucket men are four old guys with white hair dressed in bathrobes. And the show starts, and the show looks something like this.
That was a grand performance at Madame Friona's tea kettle with your hirelings. Holy cow. You made it.
All right. So here's
Let
what
me
happens.
guess, that's Marquez.
Yeah. So here's what happens.
As Marquez storms out. Oh my god.
Marquez was in contact with the Zent and put a hit out on Omi.
So the show's going along. It's about halfway through, and Omi forgot to tighten his wig on well enough. So when he's bending over, playing the spoons and singing, the wig accidentally falls off. The big, giant, long wing falls off just as one of the bucket men is playing his spoon. So what happens is the wig gets launched through the air, goes flying, twirling, hits Madame Fiona. One of the sides wraps around her and ties to her, while the other end goes up into the air, hits the ceiling fan, wraps around the ceiling fan, and poor little Madame Fiona, as her lightweight halfling that she is, gets caught up in the ceiling fan. It starts getting twirled around the room up above us.
Oh my God, that was to a standing ovation.
So Omi, Omi's quiet for a little while and doesn't know what to do, and just fist pumps into the air and he'll spoon the world, and then everyone resumes playing. But unfortunately, when everyone resumes playing, the wig damaged the buckets of the bucket men, the rigging for their buckets, and when they go next to hit their buckets, the buckets fall off.
Oh God. So did I see that right in the video? The word Mark was spelled on those 4 buckets for Markesh, M-A-R-K? Sorry, never mind.
Yeah, we did this. We dedicated this show to him.
One of our close companions is not going to be able to be here tonight, and we are going to dedicate this show to you, Markesh. Oh God.
Well, Madame Fiona spinning above the room, she yells, "I'm going to get you for this, Omi. You just wait."
And I made bran muffins for you. Unbelievable. Oh, too good. So it's the next day, everything kind of calms down in the tea kettle. Madame Fiona's kind of giving you the cold shoulder today, for some reason. I wouldn't know why.
Yeah, I think I'll try to avoid her today.
Yeah, everybody's talking about their tales over the last 4 or 5 days. Why don't all of you give me, really quickly, a perception check in the dice tower? Yeah, so you guys are all in the Delmonica room in the back. Wow, Varys, clutch roll, buddy. Varys, you notice something as you're getting acclimated and, trying to keep yourself on the down low. You notice on the job board that is posted inside of the tea kettle, you notice that there is a wanted poster up on the board, and this is what it reads, as everybody else is kind of in their own and talking about the unbelievable performance, the Spoon the World Tour. This is what you actually see as you walk by the board as it catches your eye, Varys.
Interesting. Wonder why Holy Knights. Okay. Alright. I'll point it out to the others.
Alright. So basically it shows you a wanted message that says in big, bold letters, "Wanted! Holy Knights, blessed warriors of the gods, and other bold slayers of the undead. Reward commensurate with risk. For any particulars, and this is in the fine print of course, contact Doomguide Yover Glandon at Valgingen Graveyard, City of Flan." So it seems like Flan and the Valgingen Graveyard, which is to the north of Flan. In fact, I can show you the map. Remember this map? You guys have seen this a few times. Valgingen graveyards over here. To the north.
We've been there already, I think.
Yeah, you
Yeah.
have, yeah. You've actually
that's
talked to Doom Guide Yovir Glandon. He's the, one of the
He says it's after the
Columbrites. Yeah, yeah, exactly.
I'm just glad the wanted poster isn't of me.
Or your henchman.
I'm surprised you're even sitting here in this place.
Yeah, you're getting quite a few looks at me.
And not just from Marquez.
I'm kind of worried, guys. I expected Madame Fiona to get the guards or something. I think she's planning something worse.
I wouldn't doubt it.
So you guys are having drinks served to you. You guys are having some food. It's about the middle of the day. So it looks like Yovir, your old buddy Yovir Glandon at the Valgingen graveyard is looking for some bold slayers of the undead, and he's looking for the blessed warriors of the gods. I think you guys may fit the bill, possibly.
I don't know about a holy warrior, blessed gods bullshit, but I'm always up for a good time as long as there's pay involved.
While we're having a quick drink before we go,
Sure.
Fitzanos, you've been hanging around us the last couple of days. It's nice. You seem pleasant company, yeah? Any chance we could know a little bit more about yourself? It's strange to see one of your kind in this area. It's not normal, but I've got an open mind to things. It just be nice to hear a little bit about yourself.
Nice, Kalash. You can add another inspiration too because of that. Trying to get some divulge some information from the new guy. I like that. Instead of the
I
DM
sit back,
guy.
ensure my glass is full, and say, "Yeah, I guess we give a shit." Go ahead and tell us.
Not really sure about what he wants to say, but he came up from a rough upbringing and kind of wanted to get away from where he was. So he decided to try his skills in a new location.
Interesting. And can we ask what them skills might be? As you can tell, myself and Markesh are
The Indigo with the blade.
fine warriors of the martial arts. Only, well, he's got a talent with the spoons. Some wish he hadn't.
No one wishes he had, and he does. I wouldn't call it talent as much as an ear full of curse.
What's that? You wanted me to play the spoon?
You
I just
get
be-
those, Madam Fiona.
Yes, Marcus, yes.
Where
I'm
your
here.
talents lie.
You might have to kick this guy out. He's getting them spoons out again.
Omi, I told you not to just to put those spoons away. I think you've caused enough damage last night. I mean, for Christ's sake, Marcus, he's usually a pretty good client and he's a pretty good customer, but when he saw that name Mark on those pots that you put on those guys' crotches, your henchmen, it was unbelievable. Profits were down that night because Marcus wasn't buying any alcohol. So put those spoons away.
Oh, he just kind of looks down,
I'm gonna grab a hand axe
slowly
and stand up.
slides the
My-
spoons back into
My
his
name was
pocket.
on what?
Oh, I thought that's what you saw, Marcus. That's probably, I thought, why you stormed off last night.
I saw a poster, and that's why I stormed off.
Oh,
You missed the
Oops.
show. We dedicated it to you, Marcus.
oops.
I'm gonna throw that hand axe right at him.
Oh, God. roll a hit. You can do it in the combat tracker. Oh, my gosh. Marcus attacks Omi. Oh, my God. Oh, the drama. I love it. Oh my God, you just got hit with an axe. Roll damage, Marcus. Oh God, now everybody in the bars is
All right,
standing
someone-
up, drawn weapons, and they're
I'm gonna-
wondering what the hell's going on.
Put the hand axe right next to his balls, right on the chair. Apparently, getting a little bit of clothing with it.
Careful,
Oh.
careful.
You put my name on another one of your shows, goddammit. You'll have one of these up your ass next time.
Yeah, there's a lot of people named Mark, you know.
Hey,
when you-
my name's Mark. Was
When
that?
you say it with a smile and a laugh, I know exactly what you mean, you little shit.
Very nice, Mark. You can add Marcus. You can add an inspiration also.
If the guys turned around, you'd have seen the quiche.
Ooh, Varys, you can add one too. So you guys all have 2 apiece now.
Tell you what, our new friend, what were your, where do your talents lie?
For the most part, I am skilled with some weaponry, and I have a little bit of arcane gifts.
Ooh.
Interesting. Could definitely be beneficial. As you know, we have been helping the town out with a few of its issues. Most recently is with its ghost ships that were.
Kel's being modest. We're this town's goddamn saviors.
You hear a few hip hip hooray!
Hoo-yah!
It definitely sounds it from the rowdiness of the people around here.
Yes,
How are you at dead things? Because it looks like maybe you got any experience there. Looks like we might trial by combat kind of thing. See if you can show your worth here.
If you survive, you're in. I love it.
I can't say that I have had too much experience with the undead, but I am no person that won't stay back from them.
Excellent to hear.
Right, let's finish this round of drinks then and head off down to the graveyard and see if we can save the town once again.
So we're interested in this job.
If there's gold in it. There's. I'm interested.
I take the slip of paper off the board so no one else sees it and tries to take our job.
Ooh, good idea.
Excellent plan.
And the rest.
I think
of
we
my
need to resupply before we go to the
True.
graveyard once again.
And while we're finishing our drink, I put the rest of my breakfast down on the floor for Spoons to eat.
All right, so
Oh,
you
my
guys.
eyes, the spoons.
I got a dire wolf named Spoons.
No. So you guys know the
Yes,
graveyard sits
concur.
north of the city, and on your way to the Valgingen graveyard, you guys can make any kind of necessary purchases you need to do. So just go ahead and deduct the player's handbook price and go ahead and add it to your sheet.
I purchased 50 holy flasks. No. I get a couple of holy flasks.
Sure.
I'll grab
good
some
idea.
healing potions.
All right.
Yeah, I'm gonna
quick
grab
one,
some
Dave.
healing potions as well.
Did Zern take his axe of the importer back when I spoke to him?
Oh, No, he actually lets you keep that. The silvered axe, he lets you keep
yeah.
it. Yeah. He
I
lets
thank
you
him
keep
greatly.
it. Oh.
Brother.
Let me tell you something, brother. Yeah, so you guys know that the graveyard's on the opposite shore of the Stojanau River. And, as you guys finish up doing all of your purchases and stuff and flying, you start to head across the bridge and this beautiful garden of statues, beautifully tended trees and somebody just dropped a glass there. Mausoleums as you guys are still hearing the sounds of the tavern as you're walking towards the graveyard. Unfortunately, I didn't change that. Okay. Where is my... There we go. Alright, so you guys see the graveyard coming up. It's getting larger and larger as you're going across the river. This place is beautifully taken care of by the Kalimverites. And, as you get to this place, there are several individuals, in this beautifully kept graveyard. You know, working, you can see a couple of a male and a female that are working off into the distance, and you see no, you know, as you're going through the cemetery and going through the mausoleums and, you know, traveling on the gravel walkways, you know, trying to keep off of the grass between the trees, you know, all these paths going between the shrubs and flowers. You run into a man and woman. They're dressed in simple, these gray robes, as the Doom Guide had been in before when you had seen him, and they're trimming some shrubs and pulling some weeds on the cobblestone walkway that you're on. And they hear you approach from behind, and they both stand up and kind of bow to you, and they introduce themselves as Drollo and Fedya. And they start to kind of point to different beautiful things in the graveyard, like the mausoleum of the dead, and they ask you if you've been inside of the graveyard, if there's any kind of, is there any kind of services that you need rendered? What can we do for you today?
We're here for Yovir.
Oh, the Doom Guide. Yes, he's here today. He's also working here in the graveyard today, as he always does. He's usually always here from sun up to sundown, and they both kind of point over in a certain direction, and they both tell you that the Doom Guide can be found over in that area. We think that he's renovating one of the old ancient mausoleums that's been in here in the Valgingen graveyard since the beginning.
Can you show us to where he is, or do we have to find it for ourselves?
Sure, we'll take you to it, even though we pointed you in the direction. we'll take you there, no problem. So they're
As we're
talking
walking
about
there, as we're walking there with them, I do want to start asking them about the dead, if they've heard anything about these this so-called undead or whatever it might be.
Yes, there's.
I get lost. I get lost easily. That's why I asked.
It's no problem. You know, the Valgingen graveyard is a very large place, and at some point it can get spooky, especially as of late. And to answer your question about the dead, yes, it seems even though the dead are entered here in the graveyard and respected, we have lately had several incidents of several of our acolytes and the undead, and I'm sure that seeing that you have the flyer with you, I'm sure Doom Guide Glandon will give you all of the details. But yeah, we have had a problem lately, unfortunately, and that is the reason why obviously you have taken the commission to come here and see if anything can be done. It seems the town is a little eerie of the undead. You are the first adventurers that have actually heeded the call. And you know, and as they're taking you through the graveyard, they're taking you to the north, you know, and you're traveling on more cobblestone paths and whatnot, and off in the distance you can hear, you know, like a hammer beating against, not metal, but maybe like a plaster or something like that. And as you go over one of the hills, you can see there's Doom Guide Glandon, you know, the thin, you know, middle-aged guy. He's got a shaved head, you know, his well-trimmed silver fox beard. Well, not full silver fox, it's kind of streaked. And, you know, he's dressed the same way as the other two Doom Guides are. And he's got all kinds, as you approach, you know, you kind of take him from behind because he's banging on this mausoleum, kind of replastering it. And as he turns around, you kind of startle him, and his robe and his hair has all kinds of twigs and leaves that are tangled around. And oh, hello there. It's and you know, he kind of doesn't recognize you at first. He says, what service can Kelevor's faithful provide you? Oh, It's you. It's all of you. How are you doing? How was your trip? You when you got back to Flan several days back. It was bad weather, of course, and we didn't get much time to speak about your journeys. I hope everything was okay and you were compensated. And yeah, how was the journey? It's good to see all of you again. Oh, for the love of Kellamvor, welcome back.
Shim would like to inquire about Yip. How's Yip doing?
Yip, he's still having treatment on. Hopefully one day he will recover, my friend. But he's still yipping away. Yip, 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 that's all he says. Even though I will say that the treatment has slowed down the yipping somewhat.
That's marked progress.
He's still a yipster. So what can I do for you today? Oh, you have the and the
I
two
handed him
other
the flyer.
yeah, the other two Doom guards. They Drollo and Fedya. They brought the wanted poster here, and he goes, "Oh, delightful! I was going to ask you if you wanted to help with this, but I figured you probably wanted a little bit of rest and relaxation, and you probably didn't want to bother with these undead. But I am glad to see you here. Oh, things have been amiss here in the graveyard. I don't know if you've heard or anything like this, but it seems like the curses from the old days are starting to make themselves known again here in Flan. And you see, within the last 100 years, this beautiful graveyard has gone from being overrun with these undead. Years ago, 100 years ago, this was nothing but a cesspool of undead. And, within the last 100 years, we've got that cleaned up, and we've really prided ourselves on that. So it's basically not overrun anymore because of the hard work of us Kellamvorites. And, the people of Flan, they were tormented during this time. And that's why the graveyard has taken such a transition from this cesspool to something of beauty, to where they can come and, pray with their deceased ones, or pray to their deceased ones, and it's sort of been like a reward back to the city, because it was a hard life back 100 years ago in Flan. It was really tough, as the records would say. So, this beauty of the graveyard is now starting to turn once again.
Yes, I see the good job you've all done. I think
You're darn tootin'.
going forward, it's more reason why yourselves and the new temple that is being constructed in the centre of Flan have close relations, and that we all work together for the betterment of Flan.
I'm sure that we can discuss those matters. I am biased towards Kellamvor, of course.
That's fine, and I am biased to my deity. We all gonna have our biases, but the new temple is a temple of multi-faith for all to go and pray at, no matter who you follow.
Indeed.
Mr. Glandon, is this
Yes.
undead problem at the same location, occurring at the same location that my prior party ventured into and cleared out some zombies?
Are you talking about the ones with the pans on the crotches? Or no, that's a whole different predicament.
Nah.
Word got back to me. It was absolutely horrible.
Horrific.
Something like that.
Absolutely horrific.
Yes, Marcus.
Yeah.
Oh, Omi, you need to pray to Kellamvor.
Why would I do that?
So you can have some salvation in your life.
I get that through my music.
So we have a certain sister. Her name is Sister Bethel. She disappeared about 12 days ago. But about 10 days ago, this is when it all started, as we found her body. And it was in the base of the catacombs that we have here. And there are many catacombs that extend for many miles under the city of Flan. Well, Sister Bethel was partially eaten. And that's when all of the sightings, and he does air quotes, of these undead, these packs of undead, and there's been a lot of a mist rising at night in Valgingen graveyard. And
what part?
the entire graveyard, Marcus.
No, of her was eaten.
One of her arms was missing. Her neck had chunks of flesh taken out of it. It doesn't look like her body was sacrificed, and it doesn't look like that her body was tortured in any way. It just looks like that she endured an excruciating death, and one of her arms were ripped off, and we did not find the limb.
Have you already interred the body?
Yes, we did bury Sister Bethel and had a small ceremony for her. She was an only child, and her parents have been deceased for quite some time. She joined us at a later age in life. I guess she had some type of some kind of midlife crisis, and wanted to become one with Kellamvor. So we accepted her with open arms and showed her the way. But unfortunately, she is no longer with us. So I believe that the undead are starting to become more active once again, especially seeing that this has not been going on for the last 100 years or so. Hopefully this is just a couple of isolated incidents, but I do not think it is. I just have had this eerie feeling about this whole situation.
So where did you bury this sister?
We buried her. He kind of points over towards a freshly dug grave.
So how long ago? Does it look undisturbed? Grave?
Yeah, it does. Yeah, it's definitely a fresh grave. I mean, the ground hasn't settled yet, so.
Okay, I was just making sure she didn't come back as undead. And
all of a sudden,
crawl out
her
of the grave.
arm her one arm just kind of reaches up out of the grave, and then it points at you and says, "You're dead." No, I'm just kidding.
That's what I'm worried about.
So, the Doom Guide, he goes into telling you that he and also a couple of the other Kalimvorites, they investigated the oldest section of the catacombs. And, like you said, these catacombs, they extend throughout the entire undercity of Flan. And they found no undead. No signs of undead anyway. But that's where the body was found and whatnot, as they were doing work down in the catacombs to, putting water into the dishes for the flowers that are growing out, that the old families of Flan would go down and visit their distant relatives and whatnot. So he took extra measure and sealed the catacomb just in case this wasn't an isolated incident and these undead, would start to spread inside of the catacomb. So he asked you. Hopefully it was a wise move. We haven't had any incidents in the last couple of days.
You say these catacombs spread throughout the entirety of Flan, correct?
Yes, and a lot of these we have lost the records for, Markish, so we really do not know what are in a lot of these crypts and a lot of these corridors. And I myself, I've only been in the oldest part of the catacomb, but it does extend far, deeper under the city of Flan, and in fact there are parts that actually as the records state in books, which I do not have the tangible record where I can view them. These extend for many miles, even under the quivering forest, which
So
is actually
the only
quite a ways away.
the only entrance you're aware of in the graveyard has been sealed at this.
Correct. Yes, we did seal it, and we have also put this off limits to the citizens of Flan for a little while. We are telling them that it is restorations, but of course it's not, and that is why we have been seeking some adventurers like yourselves, and plus you have done such a great job here in the city of Flan that I'm glad that you actually heeded the call. So we can pay you for this. We can. I've pulled some money out of the coffers, and actually there was an unmarked crypt. This catacomb here that I've actually been working on. And he goes over to like a pile of gray robes that's been kind of just, and you can see that he's ripped it up in the rags and whatnot. And he pulls this. Something out of the robes, and he walks over towards you and he says, I can we're a little light on funds currently at the moment because we're doing a lot of restoration here in the graveyard, which always goes on, by the way, but I can afford to give you 100 gold out of the coffers, and I have this pair of goggles. They seem to be fairly rare. Maybe they may have some type of value or something like that. Maybe you can take a look at these, and maybe you'll accept these as well as a payment for taking care of these undead. So as he pulls these goggles out, they actually have a very unique look to them, and this is what they look like. Sort of look
They
like
look nice.
owl's eyes. You know what I mean?
I
That's
wonder what they
interesting.
are.
Okay, let me take a look at those guys. Let me see if I can figure out what they are.
He says, "Yeah, these are quite interesting. These were found actually here in this mausoleum. That's
Pulled them out of someone's grave, huh?
No, absolutely. Actually, it was not a grave, Markish. It was just sitting there on. This thing has been sealed for many and many of years. So there, as you look inside, there's like this small altar that's dedicated to Kellenvor, and he says the goggles were on the small statue, sort of as like the statue were wearing the goggles, and there's quite a bit of dust built up on the goggles, and I've actually cleaned them up quite nicely, and I just really don't know what these things do, even if they do anything at all. So I figured, hey, I can give you these as well.
Now, you're saying how much it's big this catacombs are going to be. Do we have any kind of guide that might be able to help us inside so we don't get lost on our way?
Oh, absolutely. I actually one of my other Kellenvites, she is working inside of the catacomb, and he says, Cassit, please come outside. I'd like you to meet some folks. And you hear, just a minute, Doom Guide. So you hear a feminine voice. So he offers you the 100 gold and these unique looking goggles. Now, what are you gonna do, Omi? As you're looking at the goggles, and he hands them over to you.
I'm gonna look them over and look through them, examine them, see if I can figure out what they do.
So are you wanting to do like a ritual or something, maybe to find out what they are, or if they're magical or anything like that? Is that what you're attempting to do, or?
I'll use my knowledge of the arcane to see if I can figure out what they are.
I'm gonna turn my back and just pretend that I'm kind of scanning the area, a bit disinterested, and I'll use a charge of my wand of magic detection.
Nice. I love it. Yeah. As you're doing that,
And then after that, I'll wait a little bit, maybe a minute or so, and just ensure that I'll kind of meander back to the party as though nothing is really going on, and see if anything has kind of a sheen to it that's not within our party.
yeah, you can yeah, definitely tell. I'll send you a tell actually, Marcus. Oops. I hit enter. Sorry about that.
Yeah, they look pretty useless to me, guys. How about some more gold instead? These goggles don't look very useful.
I possibly could scrape something up maybe. It would probably have to be a delayed payment because, like I had said, the coffers have been a little light lately.
We can be an adventuring party on layaway.
Well, it's always nice having someone that owes you. That comes in more useful than gold sometimes.
Steady stream of income.
Well, it's to be in debt to a party such as ours. It could prove useful for us at some point.
Well, if Marcus, if you do decide to take the job, the one thing that I do ask all of you is to please respect the resting dead within the catacomb system, and please leave their possessions. Please do not take anything. And you've been, unfaithful servants to Flan, and I do not think that you would do this. But we do not tolerate any theft from the dead in the catacombs. And not to say that you're going to do that. It's just I would tell anybody that.
How about if we see a statue that has stuff in front of it?
Then those are probably royalties to that statue. Probably some type of tribute to that statue. So yes, everything is off limits. I hope that is not a problem. You'll have Cassidy with you as well.
Guardians of the Galaxy is but I want it more.
Yeah.
No, he doesn't understand. I want it more than him.
Yeah.
You can trust us, good sir.
I'll be sending Cassidy with you as well. I'm sure she is a faithful of the Kellenverites, and I'm sure she'll be, telling you along the way and trying to keep you on the enlightened path.
Yep, we'd be happy to help you out with this. Besides, I think I should take some time off from my Spoon the World tour.
I thought you got fired.
I'm the sole owner of the Spoon the World franchise.
Oh, I see how that works.
Unbelievable.
Unless I fire myself.
Well, I don't think Fiona's letting you back in that place playing those spoons.
No
Yeah,
chance.
I don't think I'm going to go anywhere near her for a while.
Twice burned. First time she gets a pair of thongs in the face. Next time she gets her damn near strung up by her own ceiling fan.
Yeah, how unlucky is that?
I'd say it has a lot to do with you, not her.
No.
Doom Guide, he tells you that Cassett she is just still in training. She is still an apprentice, but she does possess a little bit of skill in the arcane arts, so she will be able to provide a little bit of extra help in that aspect. But Cassett's pretty young. She doesn't seem to be as young as a teenager, probably in her middle 20s or so. She doesn't look, worn and calloused like the Doom Guide does. She's obviously spent most of her time in books and rather than, rebuilding catacombs and mausoleums and stuff like that in a graveyard. So
We've been told that she knows her way around down there, right?
She does, yeah. It's certain parts, just what the Columvarites actually know. According
That's
to all
good.
the records, yeah, she does know her way around a little bit. Although she does not spend too much time down there. She's usually, like I said, she's usually got her nose in books. She's basically taking the old records and preserving them, and basically acting as like an archivist would, an archivist.
Is Cassette human? What
She
race is she?
is. She is a human. She's probably in her early 20s. She's not a supermodel or anything. She's just a run of the mill girl next
Um,
door type of look.
Well,
okay, I'll
Shin
bend
being the
down.
seller he is, we'll give her the sup look.
The
I'll,
sup look. She just kind of nods up and she says, sup, dudes.
I'll bend down and pick up a small stone and place it in the palm of her hand. And I'll cast light onto it and say, this so you can see while you're down there, but at times we will ask you to put your hand over it so it extinguish the light until
Oh,
it is safe to release it again.
well, I appreciate it, but she kind of says a few words and she puts light at the end of her finger and she says, I know that trick. I can take care of that myself.
Bonus.
Seems like she has a sort of like a dry, witty, warped sense of humor, and as you're kind of giving her the eye there, Shen, she says, "My eyes are up here. My eyes are up here." Even though she is in a gray robe, you really can't see anything anyway. And then she just kind of chuckles and goes back inside of the catacomb, and you can hear scraping on the wall of her, kind of like laying plaster and stuff.
I'll look over at Cal at that point and said, for a human, you're pretty funny.
Yeah.
This will be interesting.
Yes,
Does it look like she
Cassett
can
does
handle
have a
herself
sense
in a
of
fight?
human. She can. Oh, absolutely. Uh, she looks at he looks over. The Doom guy looks over at Yushin and says, "I wouldn't be making any passes at her in the dark. She can handle herself quite well." So he puts the goggles on his head and he says, "Well, I guess I'll just be keeping these then if you don't want these."
No, I'll take them. They might be useful as a historical artifact in some museum somewhere.
If there's no gold now, we may as well take them. Maybe we can find someone that's sucker enough to buy them.
Well, they may have some type of value. I just don't have the time to research them. They do seem to be quite unique, though, Markish. They definitely are unique, though.
Yeah, for when you're playing around with the acolytes, right? Dressing up as owls.
It seems like, well, not really. When you go into dark places, it seems like the actual lenses of the goggles start to turn a very light blue glowing color. It's quite unique.
Forgive me. I forget you humans can't see in the dark.
Yes, it is a problem we face.
Perhaps we'll try them out, see what kind of effect they might have.
Okay. So he says, well, is here is the map. He kind of goes over back. He's got like a little pack and some. He reaches in and grabs a few berries and kind of eats them and takes a drink from his water skin, and he hands Cassett a map of the catacomb. So, and as he's doing that, he thanks all of you, and if there's any other information, Cassett will try to provide it for him. She has a little bit of knowledge, but she doesn't get out much, he says.
Well, we've all got to grow up sometime.
That we do, and that she has done quite a bit lately. Ever since becoming dedicated to Kellamvor, she's done quite a bit of that.
So I'll look over and I'll slap Filt's back and I'll say, "Hey, Fizzle Nose, you ready to prove your worth?"
Fizzle Nose.
Yeah, I am ready to prove my worth, and the name is Fiddlenaz.
Oh, sorry. It's got to be. I've always wondered, do you have to wear a lot of like lotion It's a little bright here out here for your kind, isn't it?
Yes, it is bright, but that's why I wear the dark cloak.
Uh,
Doesn't that hamper you when you're fighting out here in the daylight? just, just stay in the dungeons, right? You won't have that problem.
It is a new experience, but yes, it is a little bit more of a disadvantage for me out here, but I've always seemed to make my way.
All right, so let's.
it puts the lotion in the basket.
What about the goggles? Who's going to take these goggles? I mean, are you going to do anything? Try to find out what they do or anything like that?
I'll use my the knowledge of the arcane to see if I can figure out exactly what they do.
If anything,
I'll give him a hand while he's looking at it and use my knowledge of arcane to assist.
Okay.
if anything, Omi can use it in this next show.
He doesn't get a next one.
Wow. So yeah, both you and the drow, you guys find out that these are definitely magical. As you guys are kind of taking stock of all of your inventory and whatnot. So these things they're an old magic, and they're called goggles of night. And these goggles of night, basically, it helps out, like what Markesh was kind of hinting to. It will actually give you dark vision to 60 feet. So if you're a human or something like that, and you're wearing these goggles, you'll have dark vision. Now, if you have dark vision, it will extend it. It will extend your current dark vision by another 60 feet also. So if you have dark vision, it'll extend it to 120 feet. If you're blind as a bat in the dark, you'll have dark vision for 60 feet. So, pretty nice item.
They're pretty sweet.
Yeah, they're pretty nice. So.
Once we're away from Glandon, I'll tell the party, I think these are goggles that let you see in the dark.
Yeah, and this is a wondrous item too. So this is a really old and really rare, powerful magic item.
I would say this item actually might help us while we're in there for anybody that might need to use it.
Being a human, I can't see in the dark.
Well, why don't you wear them for now? See how they work out for you.
I'm willing to be the guinea pig.
Do you have to be attuned to them?
It
Say
does
again?
not say. So it does not say you have to attune the item.
Yeah, I think it's one of the items you don't, which makes them really nice.
Yeah, because I think you can only have, what, 3 attuned items anyway?
3,
So,
yeah.
Yeah. All right, so I'll give these over to Shen. And also we'll divide the 100 gold up too. So there you go. Everybody gets 16 apiece. And you also have the goggles assigned to your sheet. They should be unidentified, so I need to go in there, and yeah, they're actually identified. So
And
you're in good shape.
If we haven't yet, we want to make sure that we will have taken a long rest before we go in.
Yeah, absolutely. And you guys, actually, that's when you guys do your arcane checks and stuff like that and try to figure out what this thing is. Yeah, very good. All right, so you guys are going to head over to the upper catacombs, and let me give you this image really quick. I'm gonna let you guys see the upper catacombs. I should have preloaded this map, and I apologize that I did not do that, but you guys should see it now. And I'll put
See
all
the
of
tokens
your-
showing up.
Yep, I'll put all of your tokens on here. as you guys are descending down the stairwell.
I'm gonna look over to Varys and suggest that maybe he stay out of the front. Maybe he's the second. So maybe someone else will take a hit before him. Should there be trouble?
Let me give you a caster-looking type of dark elf token, really quick. Also, if you don't like that avatar, I just put that in there, sort of like a placeholder. You can change it. If you do, you know how to change the avatars there, that image.
Yeah, I do.
Okay, yeah. Feel free to change it, man.
How are those goggles working, Shen?
I can see about 15 feet in front of me. So far.
Just be patient.
You should stop looking at the wall and turn to your right.
Oh, here we go. This is pretty cool. Alright, so there we go. There's a token for you. Sorry about that. I thought I had one on there. I think I put one on when I uploaded your character sheet into the wrong campaign. Alright, so as you guys get to the location, you get your long rest, you head, into the entrance to the catacomb, and it's in a stone structure that, basically looks like a lot of the other mausoleums in Valgingen graveyard. Except for this building had no door, just an open air arch, an archway. So inside of this mausoleum, there's a floor that's paved, and in the corner there is an opening where it descends down, where there is a fairly wide stone staircase, and you descend down about 25 to 30 feet, and you can definitely tell that this is a structure that was probably commissioned by the dwarves, because it is of a very high quality, and it is of dwarven stone masonry. This place is old. The Doom Guide, he tells you this place has been here since the beginning, at least 2 centuries, as the records say, but he believes that this could be up to probably 10 centuries old, because Flan has been here for 1,000 years. So it could be up to 10 centuries old. He's just not too sure because of the records. There have been some bad times in Flan, so some things have been destroyed along the way. So, as you're starting to descend down, you see that this place is a cloister. And I'm going to uncover this map for you guys real quick.
Guys, do you want me to scout ahead? I whisper.
Yeah, so it is dark as well, and I believe one of you are not going to be able to see down here. So as you enter this huge cloister, you reach down, and you guys can also feel free to adjust your tokens for how you would be traveling as you enter, the catacombs. So take time and adjust your tokens as well.
Generally Markesh and me up front with shields, possibly with Omi scouting.
I would think so. Shen maybe towards the front as well, but my thought would be, is Yovir or
Cassid is with you.
Cassid with us? So Yovir is not, Cassid is. Okay.
Yeah. He is.
How
He's
scary.
basically he's sent Cassett with you, but yeah, she is with you. And let's see.
Is there any? I mean, at this point, we're just kind of talking and walking, right? It doesn't seem to be as though there should be a threat this close to the surface.
No, not here. And Cassett, she's behind you. So here she is. She's with you as well.
Excellent.
And she is.
I'm gonna go forward a little bit and look for traps.
Okay. Well, I'm going to lock him up here. I'm going to tell you as you guys enter, you come down these stairs, this large, rectangular, but yet kind of a little irregularly shaped chamber. And some of the ledges, are that are on the walls look like they probably serve as tables. And, as you guys are starting to enter the chamber, you can see along the far wall of this huge room, there is a massive fresco that covers the wall. And at first look, it looks like this, and this is all tiled, by the way, so it's of like I said, it's of an exquisite dwarven quality. And these tiles that are painted, they're portraying people, every race, every walk of life, arranged with no sense of any kind of perspective or scale or anything like that. But it looks like that this fresco has suffered a lot of heavy damage, because you can see that there are a little bit of water that's accumulating on the ground, and you can see streaks of stained water, as this place has actually had a lot of seepage from the ceiling, so you can see that there's a lot of mildew on the walls, probably building over for quite some time over the centuries.
Can I check that fresco out for that table and see if there's, if we're looking for undead, if there's anything looking disturbed or moved recently in this room?
Yeah, yep, and just.
But I would like to check out that fresco as well.
Yep, and that's what we'll do next week. So this is where we're gonna end the game
nice.
for this week. Like I said, I kind of wanna keep everything. I don't want to put two sections together and stuff. So you can see that the room here, you can see that it kind of veers to the left, and also on the eastern wall, you can see that there's a door. And you see the fresco, and we'll start with you checking out the fresco in 2 weeks. So,
Okay.
Awesome.
All right.
everybody.
Cheers.
Yeah, thanks for playing, everybody.
Good game.
Yeah, appreciate
Good
it.
game.